Hello everyone, my name is Walt M-L, for those of you who may not know me. I've been going to Shilley here since the first grade. My project that I'll be talking about today is about Jewish authors. I chose this project for a few reasons, the first being that I love to read and have always loved to read, so this seemed like a great way to incorporate that into a project that is ultimately about religion. The main foci of this project are the two authors, Daniel Handler, better known as Lemony Snicket, and Shel Silverstein, who are both very popular children's authors. Both authors are Jewish, grew up in urban neighborhoods, and have written well-known books, such as The Series of Unfortunate Events and The Giving Tree. For this project, I decided to focus mainly on The Giving Tree and A Series of Unfortunate Events, Book 1, The Bad Beginning, and tried to find out if the author's religion helped to influence what they wrote. I like both of these authors, and this project would give me a chance to understand them better and more fully. I have read many of the books that Daniel Handler and Shel Silverstein have written, and I like most of them very much. Daniel Handler's most famous books include A Series of Unfortunate Events and All the Wrong Questions. Shel Silverstein's books include The Giving Tree and Falling Up. Daniel had a full education, but Shel was kicked out of his high school. However, he has still gone on to become a successful author. The Giving Tree. This book is about a boy who loves a tree. The tree loves him as well, and they grow up together and play every day. But then the boy grows older and falls in love and doesn't come back to the tree as often. When he does, the tree always thinks he wants to play, but he really wants money or a house or a boat. Each time, the tree gives him these things in the form of what she may have, be it apples or branches or her trunk. Through all of this, the tree remains happy. Finally, he comes back as an old man, and the tree has nothing to give him but the stump that is left of her. He says that that is all he needs, so he sits on the stump and rests. A Series of Unfortunate Events, Book 1, The Bad Beginning. In this book, a man named Mr. Poe comes down to the beach and tells Violet, Klaus, and Sonny Baudelaire that their parents have died in the fire that destroyed their enormous mansion. He then whisks them away to a relative's house and leaves them there to be cared for. The relative's name is Count Olaf. He is a greedy, mean man who wants to steal the Baudelaire fortune. He cooks up a plan in which he will get the money through marriage. Klaus reads a book about inheritance law and realizes what Count Olaf is planning. Count Olaf has scheduled a play in which his character will marry Violet's character, but a judge will be playing the part of the judge, so the marriage will technically be official. The play goes on, but the Baudelaires foil Count Olaf's plan. But he escapes at the last minute with his associates and vows to get revenge. Here's one of my favorite quotes from the book, which describes the first time the Baudelaires see Count Olaf's house. The children looked from the well-scrubbed house of Justice Strauss to the dilapidated one next door. The bricks were stained with soot and grime. There were only 2 small windows, which were closed with the shades drawn, even though it was a nice day. Rising above the windows was a tall and dirty tower that tilted slightly to the left. This project is all about digging deeper into the books. So after reading these books, I tried to find parallels between the books and important events in Jewish history. These are some themes from A Series of Unfortunate Events that may have to do with events from Jewish history. The first thing is that the Baudelaires are constantly persecuted. Count Olaf does not just give up after his first attempt to steal the Baudelaire fortune. He continues to pursue the Baudelaires throughout the entire book series. Jewish people have also been persecuted throughout history. Whether it was the Nazis or Pharaoh and his army, for some reason, a lot of people throughout history seem to hate Jewish people. Why is that? Maybe because there is a common stereotype about Jewish people that we all are greedy and want money. We all know that's not true, but in the book, the one person that fits this description is Count Olaf. I found this strange because Daniel Handler has publicly said that the Baudelaires are Jewish, but he has said nothing about Count Olaf being Jewish. Another parallel between Jewish history and the book has to do with Mr. Poe, the man who first told the Baudelaires about their parents' deaths and then placed them into the care of Count Olaf. Back during the Holocaust, and a bit before that time, there were people who unknowingly placed Jewish people in danger and didn't do anything, even when it was obvious that they were being mistreated. In the book, the Baudelaires try to tell Mr. Poe that Count Olaf is being cruel to them, but Mr. Poe doesn't believe the children no matter what. Even though all of this terrible stuff happens to them, the Baudelaires manage to work together to survive all the terrible things that happen. Each of them have specific skills that need to be matched with one another to solve whatever problem they may be currently facing, be it the murder of one of their caretakers or walking many miles just to get to a village that turns out not to help them at all. During the Holocaust, my grandfather and his brother also had to work together to escape from Germany. Without his brother, my grandfather may not have survived the long journey. So this parallel actually resonates with me personally. One other small thing that may be a parallel is that Daniel Handler has said that there are many rabbis hidden as so-called Easter eggs throughout the books. Rabbi means teacher, so on a deeper level, the Baudelaires have had many rabbis helping them, and not just hidden in long sentences throughout the book. One example of a rabbi in the books is Uncle Monty, a man who appears in the second book, but then is killed. He's probably the nicest man that the Baudelaires meet in the books. He is kind and caring towards them, and teaches them a great many things. All of these parallels come together to make the book a truly Jewish book. In Jewish history, there have been so many terrible things to happen to us, and so the fact that the series is even called a series of unfortunate events can help contribute to that. Even though stories of Jewish history are very sad, they still remain in our minds, and even though nearly everything in the book series is full of misfortune, everything that happens still resonates throughout the mind of the reader. The Giving Tree also has some parallels to Jewish events. I've read The Giving Tree multiple times, both now and when I was younger. As a little kid, I always thought that it was a sweet book about the love between a little boy and a tree. But after reading it again, I have a different perspective on it. When you really think about it, the boy is actually very cruel to the tree. When he is young, he likes to play with her. But when he grows up, he takes everything that the tree has to give and leaves her as a stump. Then he sits on her. One parallel I found for this book relates to a parallel that I made for a series of unfortunate events. Again, it is the stereotype that Jewish people want money. In one scene from the book, the boy asks the tree for money. This is kind of stupid because trees are inanimate objects, so it's not really possible for them to give money to people. I wondered what made both authors include this stereotype, but I realized that perhaps the reason was because they were trying to make fun of the stereotype. Another small parallel I found is that there is a Jewish holiday called Tu B'Shvat, on which we thank trees for what they give us. I wonder if Shell was trying to incorporate that, but ended up doing it in a creepy way. My Shola teacher told me that this was taught as part of curriculum for some younger classes, and I was a little shocked. Eventually I realized that the little kids probably wouldn't understand the deeper meaning. At Workman's Circle, we all care for the planet and anyone who may be suffering, and perhaps Shell believes that too, but he just took it to the extreme. If you look to the board, you'll see some famous Jewish authors from throughout time. Not all of these authors were active at the same time, but they all have written books that are widely known. In conclusion, religion can and does influence what authors write, and I wonder if it will end up influencing what I write, maybe even in the book I am currently writing that has a working title of 15. I believe that this project will help me in my bar mitzvah speech. I would like to thank my grandmother, Gabby, my current Shola teacher, my librarian friend Emily, my family, as well as anyone else who helped me with this project. Thank you.
Well, I just want to express our thanks, first of all, to Gabby Goodman, the wonderful teacher of the Science class. She's done a great job. And I'd like all the kids to come up and just stand in front of the stage. I think we need another big round of applause. And I just feel exceptionally proud of all of you. Such a wonderful job. And I really can't wait to the bar bat mitzvah ceremony in May to hear what these kids have to say about their own Jewish identity. So please join us for some light refreshments outside, and thank you again for coming.